To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what this spot is called. I haven't been up here in so long. It's changed quite a bit. Usually there's a sign in all of these saying the name. The sign could be back up at the front. I guess I'm not the only one here fishing. The reason I pulled over, aside from the fact that it had a bathroom, is that it looked like there were some deep sections in here. And that's what I'm looking for. I hate to crowd on other people, but I'm only going to toss my lure a few times. Now this is a very pretty spot. Got a nice deep pool in the river for fishing in. But look at the rock formations across from us. It's a little shaded in this section so you can't see it as well as I can, but I think you still kind of get the idea. No, I'm not using the stabilizer even though I brought it. I don't know. If I'm going to do a long recording session, I'll bring the stabilizer, or if I'm going to do a lot of walking. But when I'm just going to do short little clips like this, it's not really necessary. Especially around all this water. The phone's waterproof. I don't think the stabilizer is. A couple of fish jumped way out there. I tried tossing a couple different lures. I tried using jigs, drifting salmon eggs, fake salmon eggs, the new fireballs. None of it seemed to work. And I kept getting caught up on some branches or something. So now I'm just going to float some bait for a minute. But as I'm sitting here, I realize my line is twisted around the end of my pole. So no wonder it wasn't casting very well. I bet I can untwist it without reeling it in. But I'm going to need both hands, so I can't do it while I'm on the phone. I'll turn this back on if I catch anything. If not, I'll turn it back on at the next spot. This is another nice little spot with a deep pool. I might toss my jig down in there a few times. But that's not why I pulled over. I don't know how well you can see, but these rocks up here, these rocks are stacked. That's usually indicative of Chinese miners. They were real meticulous about their tailings piles. They like to stack everything so they know exactly what they had and hadn't been through. While most of the white miners, we just kind of threw everything down when we were done with it. Now there could be rattlesnakes up here, and I'm wearing Crocs and I have bad knees, and this ground doesn't look too damn solid. But I really want to get up here and take a closer look at this. It looks like maybe they've closed the mine with rocks. I don't know how I'm going to get back down. Getting up was the easy part. Now look, there's some sort of a pipe here coming out of this. And there's also an angel with a broken head. Very weird. Did somebody die in this mine? Are these just wedged in, or are they cemented in? Oh, they're cemented in. I really want to know the history of this. I can tell by looking at this here that some water does come trickling down through here. And you can tell from the mice poop that mice still get in and out. Could there be bad air? There's a story about an old lady who inherited a mine above Kernville that had lots of, maybe it was a natural cave. I don't know. I am going to fall down. Whoa, whoa. I almost walked backwards off that ledge. I really want to find out more info about this, guys. I don't know how or where. This probably isn't the lost mine. It's too damn obvious. Anybody can see it from the road. But there was a story about a lady whose husband... How the hell am I going to get back down from here? In Crocs? You didn't think this one out real well, did you, Jimmy? On all fours, I guess. Her husband died. his brother inherited it. He died. She sold it to another family. They died. They gave it back to her. They decided the mine was cursed, even though it was producing really well. It was somewhere right along the river, but it was only supposed to be a mile or two above Kernville. I'm probably 10 miles above Kernville. Well, this obviously isn't it. It's not hidden. It's obvious. But why is it barred off? And what is with the drain pipe? Is that just in case so much water builds up in there that it can have a place to escape without washing out the whole wall? If that much water to wash that wall comes through, that little pipe's not going to let it evacuate quick enough to stop it. And I'm going to have to... I don't even have GPS here, but I'm going to have to remember exactly where I'm at and come back here on Google Maps and the BLM mining claim resource webpage and see if I can't figure out what is or used to be here. Even closed down claims, a lot of times they still have the record of them, especially lode hard rock claims like this. Okay, off to fishing. We might not make the big trees, guys. The sun is going down behind the hill real fast. Now, a lot of people would say today is a beautiful day. I disagree. It's friggin' hot. Way too hot for my liking. It's only really like in the 80s. And it's hot enough to make me want to take my hat off for a while. And I was almost going to bring like a jacket and sweats since I was coming up in elevation. I thought it would be cool up here. Oh no, it ain't cool. Well, it's cool. It's just not cool temperature-wise. No fish yet. Some days it's okay to get skunked. That's one of the reasons I prefer river fishing over lake fishing. In the river, it's the same. It's a different thing all the time. You're constantly trying different spots, moving around, looking at different things. In the lake, I mean, yeah, you can go to new lakes all the time, but generally people fish the lakes that are near them. And after a while, you get kind of bored of that crap. Is that gold ledge there? I don't see a sign on it. I don't know how the wind's coming out on this phone. It usually deals with wind noise pretty well. I guess I could put the window up. And then I know I don't have any wind noise. A little bit of rock slides coming down there. Huh, pretty good ones actually. That's where I want to take my detector. I didn't bring any of my gold prospecting equipment today. That wasn't the plan. Today's plan was fish and maybe see the big trees. I've never gone up to this grove of big trees. I've gone up to the road's end and Johnsondale Bridge several times, but I've never gone the extra 10 miles or so to see the big trees. I don't even know if they're open right now. It's still a little early in the year, but I think I'm gonna go see them. It's 4 o'clock. They're maybe 30 minutes from here. We'll see. I'm gonna look for a Forest Service official somewhere, or anybody who works up here in any capacity, and you know, fishing guide, or if the Roads Inn store is still open, or if anybody that looks like they know what they're talking about. I'm gonna see if they know if it's open, save myself the trip. I hate to drive that extra 10 miles or 20 miles round trip to see them if I can't get in there. Now, I did go see the other grove of big trees, and it was actually sort of storming then, and we didn't even actually need our chains. So today's actually hot. There's no sign of snow except on the top of the tallest peaks. I can't see why the big trees wouldn't be open. We'll find out. I guess I'm going to turn this off. People don't really like driving videos like this unless the scenery is like awesome, or unless the person they're talking to has something interesting to say. I could have stopped that cop and asked him, but he didn't look like he was trying to stop. If he turns around and decides to pull me over or something, it'll give me an opportunity. That'd be just my luck. I haven't gotten a ticket in 10 years. The other day I got a ticket, not for talking on my cell phone or texting or anything, but simply holding it. I picked it up for a second, because there was a notification sound coming through. I wanted to set it up here on the dash mount, which is legal to do. But in the second that they saw me lifting it up and setting it on the dash mount, that was all it took. The highway patrol saw me and pulled me over and said, wow, this creek is really running fast. Let's get out for a second and take a look at this. And then we're going to quit the split screen driving thing, because that's got to be boring. And this video is going to be really, really long. But I do want to look at this creek real quick. They don't plant fish in this creek, but there could be like brook trout or some other sort of natural trout. Now what I'm seeing, what's catching my attention with all of this, is all the bedrock down there. This is like, see how it drops down over bedrock and there's a few cracks, but then it all sort of, right here, I gotta shut this off and show you the full view. I don't know how well you can see, but these rocks right here, those are making natural riffles. When this is dry, a little bit later in the spring or into the summer, that's a good place to come and do some crevicing. Bring a vacuum and a couple scraping tools and just scrape out everything that collects in those. But what really got my attention was right after those, it levels off all through here. Now, I mean, we're right on the side of the road. I can't be the first person that's thought of this. But I'm gonna bring my I'm gonna bring my prospecting equipment up here someday. And my metal detector, well, that's technically prospecting equipment too. But I'm gonna bring both of those up here one of these days and poke around down there in that. That looks like a good spot. Actually, as I'm saying this, I think I did that like 10 years ago, but I didn't have any crevicing tools. All I had was the metal detector, and it was my old metal detector, which was okay. Now, if we look over here, you can see all the sediment starting to collect. The bedrock ends somewhere under here, and there's a lot of dirt. I bet if you get down under that dirt, there's more bedrock though, and I bet that's a good area to find some gold too. Even these things, this one is at too much of an angle, but a lot of times, well, everything would slide out of this, but if you can find a round one of these where the riffles go the other way, a lot of times gold will collect in those as well. I have no idea what that is, but okay. All right, we're running out of daylight, Jimmy.